I just took a sip of water and spilled it down the whole front of me. So it's a great way to start this episode of Friday Sews. Hello internet people, and welcome to another episode of Friday Sews. Let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Today I'm going to tell you all about what I have been working on, my upcoming plans, and a little life update, tiny life update. So first off, what have I been working on? I have finished 2 projects. Well, actually, one of those projects is actually comprised of 4 things. So I guess I've finished sewing 5 things in the last little while here. Actually, before I get to that, I have to tell you, I officially finished setting up the sewing room. It took forever to get all of the finishing touches on it, but I even filmed a little room tour. If you're interested, I uploaded it last weekend, yeah. So if you're interested in seeing the new space in its entirety, go ahead and check that out. I'll put a little card at the top of the screen so you can click on that and take a look. Okay, so on to the actual sewing. So first off, I finally made a wearable muslin of the Named Talvikki Sweater. I'm wearing it here, and I've been talking about this one for a while now. It's been on my to-do list forever. I usually make wearable muslins if I'm making a knit pattern or testing out a knit pattern, and then for woven patterns I just make a plain muslin, like a throwaway muslin out of old bed sheets, just because there isn't really an equivalent knit material to like bed sheets that can just be not thrown away but recycled. I guess there are knit bed sheets, but whatever. Anyways, I usually try to use a cheaper knit and make it wearable by completing all the steps if I am testing out a knit pattern. Anyways, I made the Talvikki sweater. I made a size extra large, and I used this burgundy wine dark red colored French terry from So English. I didn't change anything about the pattern because I wanted to just see how it fits. The pattern and the construction, kind of fun on this one. It's very much unlike any other pattern I've sewn with because it has these darts coming down from the neckline in the front and the back, and it's really interesting and unique, and I haven't really seen anything like it, so that's really cool. It wasn't particularly hard or anything. I finished it maybe like a month ago, so my memory's getting a little hazy for it, but when I think back to making it, there isn't anything that stands out as being too tricky or particularly difficult. Like, the one thing is that it would have been better to match the serger thread completely because the vents are longer in the back than in the front, so it can be seen at certain angles. And yeah, so after making it, I don't really feel particularly inclined to make it again in a better fabric, at least not right now with summer coming up. Like, I'm like really hot right now, and I'm looking forward to changing when I'm done filming this. So we're just about done with sweaters over here. In general, I feel like the fit is pretty good, maybe a little big, especially like through the waist, and dare I say, I'm feeling a little frumpy in it, like a little frumpy frump, and I don't really love the look of it on me at this point. And I think part of the problem is that the fabric is actually kind of thin and drapey almost. So that combined with like the larger, looser size, it just sort of like flops around. And I don't know, maybe it's kind of cute at some angles. I like the neckline. I really do like the neckline. I love this kind of neckline. You probably know that by now. So the jury's out. Will I wear it when it's cooler? Probably. Do I want to make it next fall? Maybe. Is there a garbage truck outside that you may or may not be able to hear? Yep. And the good thing is I have this sample made up so I can pull it out next fall, assess the fit again, and decide if I do want to make it again and what changes to make. So that is that. The other project that I finished is actually, like I said before, comprised of 4 things, and those are the baby clothes that I was making for my new little nephew. I showed the fabric in my last Friday Sews, my little coordinated baby collection from Family Fabrics. And I've already finished them. I already sent them off, so I'm gonna only be able to show you pictures of it. They turned out so cute. It is so fun to make little tiny things, and it's definitely a nice change of pace from big people clothes. So let's see, I actually made 3 things for the baby, and I made 1 thing for his older sister, so she didn't feel left out in the coordinating fabric. So it's all a little matchy-matchy. So the first one is a brindle and twig summer romper, and I chose to make it out of the peace sign jersey knit and the coordinating caramel cafe, it's called, jersey knit. And I bought these clear cam snaps instead of trying to match the colors, and I think it looks really cool. Since you can see the fabric through it, it just automatically matches. And it's just like a little touch that you don't really see on ready to wear baby clothes, or at least I haven't really seen it. Granted, I haven't really spent a lot of time looking at baby clothes, but anyways, it's just like cool. It's like one of those things that you can do or change or add, like, because you're sewing it and you get to make those choices. Anyways, so then I made the brindle and twig bodysuit, and I used this bare fabric with coordinating floral for the trim. And I think I mentioned in the video where I was showing the fabric that the online shop I ordered from sent me the wrong bear fabric. They sent me the bears eating fish instead of the plain bears. But I emailed them and they were super cool, and they sent me the right fabric right after I emailed them, no problem. So I have just the plain bears for this one. And the last thing I sewed for the baby was, again, another brindle and twig pattern polo romper, and I used this hot air balloon fabric with a coordinating rib knit. This pattern, though, I have a small issue with. The hems of the sleeves and the leg cuffs are just raw and unfinished, and even the leg binding that you put around where you like put the snaps is just left open, and I thought that was kind of weird. And I don't know, maybe I'm like missing something, but it felt a little strange sending it off in its finished form but having the sleeves and the legs and the binding unfinished. And you know, just in case the parents like sit and analyze the construction and the quality of my sewing, you know, like they might say something about it or have something to say about it, but I'm kidding, of course. We are our own worst critics, so I don't think they'll notice. I am a little worried the fabric will like fray a little, but anyways, it's still pretty freaking cute if I say so myself. And then for his older sister, I made her a bucket hat with a free sewing pattern I found online, and I used the peace sign jersey and then the floral jersey, so it coordinates with the clothes, and it is reversible. And so because the fabric is jersey and bucket hats are usually made out of a woven, I decided to interface all the pieces with a woven interfacing. I think I used one that's generally for like shirt collars, just to make sure that it had enough structure. I wasn't sure if it was going to work out, but it actually turned out really good. And so that's adorable and cute and fun, and that was a fun project. So on to upcoming plans. I have one project in the beginning stages right now, and that is the Helen's Closet Gilbert top. Since it's a button-down woven, I decided to make a muslin toile. I decided that would be a good idea for me with the whole shoulder fit situation I usually have going on. So I finished cutting out all the pieces for the muslin last night. And when I've sewn it up and assessed the fit and changed whatever needs to be changed, hopefully nothing, I plan on sewing a version out of a yarn dyed gray chambray. Actually, let me go get it. So the final version is going to be this. It's a yarn dyed charcoal gray chambray. It's made of organic cotton and hemp, so it's expensive, which is another reason why I wanted to make sure that the fit is just right, because I cannot be cutting into something fancy like this without making sure I know what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I bought this fabric actually back in 2021, and I didn't really have a plan for it. but the stars aligned, and I think the Gilbert top will be perfect for it. The fabric is actually still available, surprisingly. So if you're in the market, I'll leave a link in the description box for you. So I'm really excited to sew this pattern because I am a sucker for a front knot or like a tie on the waistline of tops, and I love button downs as well. And the fabric is all environmentally friendly, so that's great. And yeah, I'm excited to see this one all sewn up. Last but not least, a little life update. I'm getting very excited for the warmer weather, and I've been working on a vegetable garden and a cut flower garden in my backyard. So in our old apartment, I used to grow some veggies in containers on the balcony, just like a few. There wasn't a lot of space, but now I have a lot more room in the backyard. So I'm expanding my operation, and I'm still gonna do some vegetables in containers, and I'm going to try grow bags this year. And yeah, there's also some raised beds in the backyard, but those are, I'm planning a cut flower garden in those. So anyway, I've been working on getting that like all planted the last like week or so, just because it's starting to get a lot warmer at night, warm enough at night for tomatoes, which I think need like 50 degrees temperatures at night or something. So anyways, I have tomato, jalapeno, eggplant, like the little eggplants, peas, zucchini, and I also have strawberries from last year and a bunch of different herbs. And then the cut flower garden is going to be in the raised beds, and I'm going to have zinnias, cosmos, scabiosa, salvia, and dahlias and gladioluses. So anyways, that's more than I originally anticipated, but I'm kind of a go big or go home kind of person, so that's going to keep me busy this year. And I'll definitely have to make sure to show you once everything gets going and is kind of like in bloom. Yeah, I've never grown flowers before, so I'm kind of excited to do that and be able to like make my own bouquets and arrangements and like put them around the house, and that sounds really fun to me right now. So anyways, between sewing and the garden, the other thing keeping me occupied is TV, specifically Poldark. Have you seen it? I have to thank April for recommending it to me. She told me about it like on a video last year, maybe even the year before that, like forever ago. And I finally got around to watching it, finally, and obsessed. My husband and I actually restarted at the first episode when the last episode finished, and we like literally, I don't think we've ever done that. So we just basically watched it twice through, straight through. So anyways, if you haven't seen it, it's a British show that had like 5 seasons. It's not super new. I think the last season aired in like 2019. So I think the first season's like 2015. Anyways, it's a period drama. It's based on books. It's about Ross Poldark, who comes home from fighting in the American Revolution. He goes home to Cornwall, and he finds out his father has died, and his love interest has gotten engaged to his cousin because they all thought he had died in the war in America, and his estate is in shambles, and so he has to kind of find a way to go forward with his life. So yeah, it's set in Cornwall in the late 1700s, and the landscape is so beautiful, and the story is interesting, and I love a period piece, and the main character is really easy on the eyes, and so yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend if you like period shows, if you like British shows, yeah, you gotta watch it. We're watching it on Prime. So I'm gonna leave you there, and that's all I have for you for this episode of Friday Sews. I hope you have a really good weekend. I hope you have some fun sewing plans for yourself, and I will see you next time.